welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at, well, a really interesting pair of ideas.
Yeah, the strength you get from focusing on your own stuff and also silence.
Exactly. The wisdom in silence. Our starting point is a YouTube video. It's from Easy English Talk, and it's called Focus Only on Yourself and Stay Silent. Improve your English-speaking graded reader skills.
Okay.
So our mission for you in this deep dive is to really explore how putting your energy inward and using silence strategically can actually spark positive change.
And help with learning too, right? Especially something like English.
Right, definitely. And to kick us off, here's a quote from the source. Silence isn't empty, it's full of answers.
Ooh, I like that. Sets the stage.
It does. So let's dig in. This idea of focusing on yourself, what does that actually mean?
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because sometimes that phrase, focus on yourself, it can sound a bit selfish.
Yeah, like you're just ignoring everyone else.
Right. But the source, our video here, it points out that's not really it. It's more about shifting where your attention goes.
Shifting it away from constantly looking at what others are doing.
Exactly. Away from comparisons and more towards your own, your own improvement, your own development.
The video had that great example. Instead of thinking, oh, why is that person so much better or faster?
Yeah.
You shift to, okay, what can I actually do today to get a little bit better?
It's a small shift, but wow, it feels different, more empowering.
Totally. And it also suggests having this kind of inner resilience.
Yeah.
Believing in your own path, even if it looks different.
Mm-hmm. Like that analogy they used, stay in your own lane on the track. Don't get distracted by the runners next to you.
I like that one. And for English learners, gosh, that comparison trap is everywhere, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You see people who sound so fluent or seem to pick up words faster.
Yeah.
It's easy to feel discouraged.
Yeah.
But this idea is about resisting that.
Yeah.
Anchoring yourself to your own progress because everyone's journey is unique.
Right. And the video says it's holistic too, not just about one thing. It's mental growth, emotional, even physical self-care.
Setting your own goals, doing things that actually help you improve. Taking ownership.
Like that practical example.
Yeah.
See someone's perfect English online, and instead of feeling bad...
You use it as a trigger, like, okay, time for my 15 minutes of practice.
Exactly. Turn it into motivation for yourself.
And the underlying thing here seems to be about managing your energy smartly.
How so?
Well, by focusing inward, you're investing in yourself, not just reacting to everything outside.
Ah, okay. Less reactive, more proactive.
Yeah. And the source suggests that leads to being more, grounded, more peaceful, less anxiety from always measuring up.
Okay, that makes sense. So that's the self-focus part. Now, what about this seemingly opposite idea? Silence. The video connects them.
Yeah, it does. And it tackles that common feeling, that silence is awkward or weak.
Like something's missing.
Right. But the video just flips that right away. It says silence isn't empty. It's powerful, full of potential.
Choosing it is a sign of strength.
That's what it argues, a deliberate choice for peace over noise.
And it's not just about feeling peaceful inside, is it? The video argues silence can be more effective sometimes.
Definitely. Like, think about dealing with someone being rude or negative.
Right.
The source suggests that often the strongest response is no response, just silence.
Why is that stronger?
It shows self-control, confidence. It says, you can't easily provoke me or drag me into this. You're choosing not to engage on that negative level.
Right. You're not getting pulled in. And beyond conflict, silence helps with learning too.
A huge part of it, according to the source, quiet allows you to really listen, to observe better, to, actually understand things more deeply.
Which for English learners, that's crucial.
Totally. The video points out silence gives you that pause. Time to think before you speak English, to find the right words.
Instead of just blurting something out.
Exactly. And it boosts your listening, too. You're actually absorbing, not just waiting for your turn to talk.
There was that story in the video, right? About learning a language by being quiet and listening first.
Yeah, and then speaking later with more confidence, it really highlights that connection.
I love the analogy they used. Silence as a seed.
Oh, yeah.
You plant it, give it space, and it grows into clearer thoughts, better words, smarter actions.
That's a great image. And it also mentioned respect, didn't it? How using silence strategically can make people respect you more.
How does that work? By saying less.
Kind of. When you're not just filling space, the words you do choose carry more weight. People see you as thoughtful, not impulsive.
It's almost counterintuitive. Say less, communicate more?
It can be. And the video calls silence a superpower, especially when you're feeling really emotional, like angry or hurt.
A superpower.
Because in those moments, your first impulse might be to lash out, say something you regret. Silence is that buffer.
That space to cool down before you speak.
Exactly. So yeah, the video really paints silence not as emptiness, but as this space full of strength, growth, and wisdom, really.
Okay, so we get the theory. Let's talk practical. The source gave some real-world examples of when to use silence.
Yeah, this was really helpful. The first one was when someone's trying to pick a fight, trying to argue.
Right, those tense moments.
Silence, the video suggests, can just de-escalate things. Stop pouring fuel on the fire by arguing back.
It's like hitting the brakes on the argument. Okay, what else?
When you're facing criticism, that's just unfair, unreasonable.
So don't defend yourself.
Not always. If you know your truth, the source says, sometimes silence speaks volumes, shows you're confident and don't need their validation.
Interesting. Okay.
Also, really important, when you're the one feeling super emotional, angry, upset.
Oh yeah, we've all been there. Said things in the heat of the moment.
Exactly. So the advice is, wait. Let yourself calm down before you speak. Avoid that potential regret.
That's just smart living, really.
It is. Another one, being around negative people, constant gossip, complaining.
This drains your energy.
Right. So the source suggests just disengaging. Stay quiet, or even better, just remove yourself. Don't get pulled into it.
Protect your own headspace. Makes sense.
Ooh.
And the last one.
When you just don't know what to say.
Happens all the time.
Yeah. And there's this pressure to fill the silence, but the video points out sometimes saying nothing is way better than saying something wrong or just meaningless filler.
So the main idea is silence gives you power, space.
Power, space, time to think. Choose your words right. You don't have to react to everything. Sometimes silence is the complete answer.
Okay, got it. So let's loop back to focusing on yourself. What are the actual benefits the source mentions? What good stuff happens?
Well, a big one is peace of mind. Seriously. When you stop that constant comparing, you just feel calmer, less stressed. You're not always chasing someone else's standard.
That constant comparison is exhausting. What else?
Personal growth. Obvious, maybe, but important. You put energy into you, your skills improve, mental, physical, emotional skills, they get better faster.
And that growth feeds into
confidence. As you see yourself improving, you start believing in your own path more. You're less bothered by what others think or expect.
It's more about what you know you can do.
Exactly. Internal validation, not external. And it leads to better decisions, too.
How so?
Because you're clearer on your own needs, your own priorities, so your choices are more likely to actually serve you.
Makes sense. Not just trying to please everyone.
Right. And that focus helps build stronger habits. Small things, done consistently. Waking up early, practicing English, whatever it is for you.
Like tending your own garden instead of just watching your neighbors.
Exactly that analogy. Focused effort brings personal results. You nurture your own growth.
And the ultimate result the video points to.
It's just more happiness, really. Living with purpose, on your own terms, enjoying your passions, it leads to deeper fulfillment.
Living with intention, like you said earlier.
Yeah. Investing in your own journey just feels better.
Okay, so those are the upsides.
Yeah.
But the source also warns about the downsides of constantly comparing. Let's unpack that.
Right. It's pretty stark, actually. The video says comparison makes you focus on what you lack.
Instead of being grateful for what you have.
Precisely. You see snippets of someone else's life, their great English, their money, whatever, and you immediately feel, well, not good enough.
That feeling sucks. And it's everywhere online, those perfect highlight reels.
Totally. And the video reminds us you never see the whole picture. Everyone's got struggles you don't know about.
That's so true. We forget that.
And practically speaking, comparison just stalls your progress. You waste time and energy feeling bad.
Instead of using that time to work on your own goals.
Exactly. It's a huge drain.
Oh.
And it steals your joy. You can't even appreciate your own small wins because you're looking at someone else.
Like tripping in that race because you're watching the other lanes.
Perfect analogy from the source. You lose focus on your own path.
So what's the alternative? What comparison is okay?
Only one, really. Comparing yourself to your past self.
Am I better today than yesterday?
That's the question. Even a tiny bit of progress, that's real success. That's growth.
That feels much healthier, more sustainable.
Definitely. Real success isn't about beating others. It's about becoming a better version of you.
Okay, so knowing all this is one thing, doing it is another. How do we actually practice this self-focus? Any tips from the source?
Yeah, some really practical ones. First, Start your day with yourself.
Before the phone, before social media.
Exactly. Just 5 or 10 minutes. Stretch, breathe, maybe journal a thought, set a positive intention. Just connect with yourself first.
Create that little quiet buffer. I like that.
And set small daily goals, achievable things related to your growth.
Not huge mountains to climb every day.
No, like 15 minutes of English practice, a short walk, read a chapter, small, consistent actions.
Okay.
Also, and this is a big one, take breaks from social media.
Step away from the comparison engine.
Pretty much. Clear your head, reduce the noise, and do things you just plain enjoy. Hobbies, passions.
Things that connect you to yourself.
Yeah, things that bring joy just for the sake of doing them. And crucially, learn to say no.
Boundaries.
Protect your time, your energy, your peace. Say no to things that don't really serve your growth or just drain you.
That takes practice.
It does.
Yeah.
But all these little things, breathing, reflecting, saying no, they add up. They build that strong, peaceful inner life the video talks about.
It's about consistency, not massive overnight changes.
Exactly. Small steps, big impact over time.
Okay, let's tackle a tough one. Conflict, negativity. How do we stay calm and silent then? The source had advice here too, right?
Yeah, and it circles back to silence being strength, not weakness. It's about control.
Controlling your reaction.
Yes, that silence gives you that vital pause, time to think instead of just reacting, especially when someone's angry or rude.
So take a breath, stay quiet, don't jump in.
That's the idea. Don't feel obligated to instantly match their energy. The video uses that image of silence as a shield.
Protecting your peace.
Right.
Yeah.
Because words fired off in anger, you often regret them. Silence avoids that. It shows maturity, self-respect.
It says, I'm not getting drawn into this.
Exactly. And the source also suggests focusing on listening, even in conflict. Try to understand the other person. Why? Well, sometimes understanding their point, even if you disagree, can reduce the need for a loud reaction. Maybe it's a misunderstanding.
Active listening, even when it's hard.
Yeah. And if the negativity just keeps coming, despite everything,
And what?
walk away. The source says sometimes the most powerful thing is to remove yourself. Your silence, as you leave, makes a statement.
That's a clear boundary.
Right. It keeps you in control, lets you respond later if needed, thoughtfully. Always ask yourself that question. Will speaking help right now, or will silence protect my peace?
That's a really useful filter.
Oh, it really clarifies the purpose of staying silent. It's strategic.
So let's bring it all home. How does all this, the silence, the self-focus, specifically help someone learning English?
Well, the connection is pretty direct. Learning needs focus, right? Especially language.
Definitely.
So creating silence, literally turning off distractions, finding a quiet spot allows for much deeper concentration.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly. And the video emphasizes even short bursts of focused study are effective. Like 15-20 minutes of truly quiet, uninterrupted English practice daily, that adds up.
No multitasking while you study.
Right. Listen to that podcast with your full attention. Don't just have it as background noise. Really engage with it.
Same for reading or speaking practice.
Absolutely. Full focus means better understanding, better retention, you learn faster, and it sticks.
Makes sense. Anything else?
Yeah, the source mentions silent reflection after learning.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah, taking a few minutes to quietly process what you just learned, go over new words in your head, think about a grammar point. It helps solidify it, moves it to long-term memory.
So it's not just about silent study, but silent processing too.
Exactly. The best learning often happens with a clear, focused mind, often in silence. It's about creating those optimal conditions for your brain.
Quality engagement, like you said.
That's the key takeaway for learners. Use silence and focus to make your study time really count.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, the core message seems pretty clear.
Yeah, focus on your growth, use silence as a tool, and trust your own unique journey.
And remember that progress might feel slow sometimes, but it is happening.
Absolutely. Step by step. If you're focusing inward and being consistent, you're moving forward.
So keep going. We believe in you. Stay strong, stay focused, and never stop learning.
Well said.
Thanks so much for joining us for this deep dive into self-focus and silence. We'll catch you in the next one.
Take care and keep shining.